Next question is about kind of a marketing direction, talking about a website. Somebody was asking, they're just starting out, should they have a website, or what should they do to get their name out there in this day and age? So I think we've hit this one before. We're going to hit it again tonight. So Cubby, I think you're up first on this one.
By all means, yes, legitimately have a website. Have an email address that associates with your website versus, djabc@gmail.com. I think it legitimizes your business. Even if you are not a full-time DJ, and you want to move to a full-time DJ, I feel that it legitimizes your viable business. And every business has a website, whether it's Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Mexican restaurant, everybody has a website. Photographers, 100% get a website. And maybe, starting on Fuzz, if you're just starting out, get something simple, then move into it and upgrade it as you go, as you start building. But yeah, I think by all means, and then you can integrate DJ Event Planner in there, get your leads coming through there. They go to your website, check your availability. It's you've got to. I mean, you can't work off Facebook, can't work off TikTok, Instagram. I think 100% website.
Dan,
I'm going to add to that. Or just kind of back up exactly what Cubby said. I mean, people are using you in such a way, it creates that legitimacy to what you're doing. But also, and I'll just say, let's assume for a second that you had a web address and you sent it to your Facebook page, right? There are people out there, couples out there that are going to be searching for you that don't use Facebook. As some of the generation goes, you have some that just don't use that, right? And you say, okay, well, then I'm going to make mine go to Instagram. Okay, same issue. You might have some that don't use Instagram. Well, I'm going to have it go to how many different places are you going to try to send it to where you realize that the only place that they can get to you without having to belong to another type of social media is your website. Make it as easy as possible to get there. Even if it's just the single page site that says here, or follow my links here, or something like a link tree type of setup to where they can get to different social aspects that you do. Have a site for them to get to. Make it as easy as possible for them to find you, and make it as easy as possible for them to do business for you. The harder it is for them to find you, the more likely they're going to go to somebody else.
Dan, the thought of free websites, because you can go like to Wix and you can get, johnyoung.wix.com type of thing, or I can go and spend the money to get a domain and invest more in it. It does cost more, and get hosting. Is it worth that investing that money, do you think? Does it matter?
I do. I know people that use and there are free content creations. Like there's ways to do the free building of the website. And I understand if you're on a limited budget, like watching that aspect to it. But again, just when they go to your site and they see your brand name, right, or they see your business name, it's going to be so much better to that. And it's just going to help in that long-term process. They're going to know you're there established. The domain name is cheap. I mean, it really is. It's, $10 a year, maybe 20, depending upon how crazy you might go with your name. But it's relatively inexpensive. The hosting is going to cost a little bit more, but even that is, in the grand scheme of things, is so incredibly cheap for what power it ends up giving you in the end. And there are free ones that you can do that still have your name. So, for example, we have a nonprofit event that we do that my wife and I host. We have the title of the party is the domain name. I purchased that, and then the site is built on Google, right? It's hosted with them, so it's free because it was nonprofit. I tried to do it as inexpensive as possible.
Sure.
It's still able to do that. I paid for the domain. I've got that aspect to it. And the other piece is built. It's still better than taking that domain and sending it to some social media or like you said, like johnyoung.wix.com.
Cubby, if someone comes back and says, hey, I've got a really nice page that I put together on The Knot or Wedding Wire or whatever, and it looks really professional, why would I need a web page when I've got that built? What's your response?
Because The Knot is no longer giving away free subscriptions any longer. You got to be grandfathered in for a lot of years. So you're going to be paying just as much for The Knot than you are for your website. And as Dan was talking about, buying domain names, they are very super cheap. I own every incantation of my company's name under a domain name. So my company's name is Select Entertainment. My website is called selectentertainmentiowa.com. I got SE Iowa for Select Entertainment. For $100, I've got like 10 different things that are all direct.
Yeah.
So somebody's Googling me, I can get it right to, I've also got some of my competitors kind of close, but they didn't buy the domain names either. Go to my website when they Google something like that. Hope nobody's watching my local area. But I don't think the knot is there for you. Once again, you cannot capture. I mean, you can. It's hard to get a free listing the knot anymore. I don't think they offer it. If I'm not mistaken, I don't pay for the knot. They don't offer free listings anymore. So if you're paying for it, you're going to spend a lot of money. Where you're going to invest that money into. There's a DJ in Illinois. He's a bald DJ. Like Dan, sorry, nothing against you. Ben Miller, can I say his name?
Yeah.
Ben Miller does websites, and he's does amazing websites. I saw recently he posted one for $1,500. He'll make your website for $1,500. And he's a former DJ, and they build websites and upload SEO. So when people Google DJs within your market, they'll help you with the search engine. Websites and buy domain names and secure yourself.
And do it the right way.
Here's the other problem with the knot and Wedding Wire, just real quick, is you don't own that site, right? If the knot decides that they want to do something or go in another direction, they've got you held captive, right? Let's assume for a second you do the domain name, you send it to it, you're purchasing with it, and you got all this, but then all of a sudden they decide, you know what? We're gonna go another direction, and we're gonna change our name, and we're gonna make it different. Now you're stuck, right? Now you're stuck. So making sure that you have control of your site is going to be key.
Good advice.
That's a great one, Dan.
Let's jump to the next one.